winners. 42-17 the final. As the Cornhuskers close out the 9th undefeated and untied season in the history of Nebraska football.
The 1-2 again. Inside corner. The Royals 2015 World Champions.
Welcome to M&M Sports Podcast number 48. Tonight we've got a little NFL, AFC East, and AFC North previews, Brian.
Yeah, moving over to the AFC this week. Not that the NFC is weak, but the NFC or the AFC is pretty stacked. We're gonna get into that here. It's a pretty good ball team to talk about here.
We'll save the AFC West for last, of course.
Yep, for sure. Keep you guys wondering on that one.
Right. AFC East last year, the Buffalo Bills won it handily, Brian. 13-4 record. Next closest was Miami at 8-9. They boat raced that division.
I don't see it a whole lot different this year. Do you, Eric?
No, we're going to get into that.
I mean, when you just glance at that division, I mean it's a race for second place is what it is.
Essentially, barring injury or something unforeseen. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's get into the Bills. Like I said, 13-4 last year. I mean, we know Josh Allen. I mean, we'll go beyond that. That dude is one of the best, if not the best and most impactful player in the NFL right now.
Yeah. The key with him, obviously, he does like to run.
Mm-hmm.
So the worry is always staying healthy.
Right.
But on the plus side, his entire offensive line is back. Anytime you retain your entire offensive line, quarterback's usually happy, unless it's a bad line.
Right.
You know.
And yet, when you mention him running, that's a great point because I think if they can minimize the times he runs in the regular season and try to save that for the playoffs, that'd be in their best interest for sure. I know you can only control so much of that, but the less he has to do running wise, like I said, minimizes that opportunity for injury.
Every time your body absorbs a hit, it takes it's like playing a video game and you see that life drop just a little bit.
And
like if you don't need to take the hits, especially early in the season, don't take them.
And he is a big dude, which it plays in his favor.
Yep.
But it also he's an easy target to hit because he is so big.
Sure.
Right.
And whether it's fair or not, since he is known to run more, the referees might let some hits go a little more on him as opposed to some other guys.
Sure. You just never know how that's going to go for sure.
No, it's always different.
Always a guessing game. Okay. What I saw with Buffalo, when I broke things down here, their schedule, in my opinion, one of the easier ones in the NFL. A lot of, I look at who they play at home and I say it really doesn't matter because they're that good.
Yes.
It's going to be tough to beat them at home.
You're right.
So I automatically, kind of jump to their road schedule to see what that entails exactly. I'll bring that up here in just a second.
Yeah, when Buffalo, I mean, yes, sure, they have an advantage at home, but Buffalo's good enough. They have an advantage almost everywhere they play, right?
Exactly.
Unless you're maybe going to Kansas City, potentially maybe on the road at Baltimore, something like that. But for the most part, when Buffalo's on the road, they're probably going to be favored just as much as they are at home.
Yeah, they're going to be. It's going to take somebody's best effort to knock them off this year,
and not to root against Kansas City, not to ruffle any feathers out there with Chiefs fans, but just as a football fan, I would love to see Buffalo get the chance to play in the Super Bowl. They're a great team. They deserve to get there at least once.
It'd definitely be something different.
Yeah.
I mean, they've played in, 4 of them, never won.
Yeah, never. Yeah. So I would just like to see him get to that point again. Right. We'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? All I know is when you have a team that is that solid year after year, the fan in you has to root for them a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially if you don't have, if you're just a neutral observer.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. First game of the year, it'll be one of their more competitive, tougher games, and that's the Ravens, but they get them at Buffalo. So huge advantage.
There you go.
Yep, that's their opener. Then they go to the Jets, expected to win that one. They host Miami at home. They host a Saints team that looks like they're going to be down this year. Then they host New England. So 4 of their first 5 games are at home. They'll be favored in all of those games, and they'll be favored at New York. So favored in those first 5 for sure. At Atlanta in Week 6, I see a good start there.
Yeah.
I believe I think I had them going. I had them going 5-1 actually, losing in Atlanta.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then after the bye week, they go to Carolina. They host the Chiefs at home, so another tough opponent, but they're hosting that opponent.
Yeah.
At Miami versus hosting Tampa Bay. At Houston. At Pittsburgh. Hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. At New England. At Cleveland. And then hosting the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles Week 17. And they close it out with the Jets in Buffalo.
I mean, most of their big games are at home this year, right?
Exactly. Which is why, Brian, I have them going 14-3 this year.
Wow.
So improving just a little on that 13-4 last year. And that's pretty much based on the talent, obviously, that they have combined with this schedule.
And is it fair to say they're a lock to win their 6th straight AFC? I mean, there's no way anybody competes for that.
As far as these divisions go, it's the closest thing to a lock.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's never any guarantee, but it's the closest thing
close.
to one.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, like we said, we know about Josh Allen running backs, James Cook, but Ray Davis, he's going to be an interesting secondary back to watch there. Yeah. Provide a little depth and,
Depth never hurts, especially at the running back position.
Right. Keon Coleman, I've talked about him. Big dude, 6'4", 220 out of Florida State, second year. Watch out for him.
Good.
He could have a huge season. Khalil Shakir and Josh Palmer came over from the Chargers. Those would be 2 more guys to keep an eye on. And Dalton Kincaid, tied in. They were expecting big things out of him last year. He really didn't live up to expectations. Let's see if he can have a bounce back this year. On defense, you got the acquisition of Joey Bosa, signed a 1-year, $12 million deal. If he stays healthy, obviously that's going to help.
Yep.
And then Greg Russo had 10 sacks on the defensive line last year as well. So those 2 guys expected to be impactful on the defensive side of the ball.
For sure.
Yep.
Well, the Bills, they're just going to go out and do what they do. They're solid. They week in and week out, they just take care of business. And I mean, I'm 100% on board with your prediction there. I just think I think they're the cream of the crop in the AFC this year. I really do.
More than anything, like we talked about, it's having those tough games at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
100%.
Next, Miami last year went 8-9. Okay, and the thing I noticed with them, toughest games are at home this year, which is why I have them finishing 9-8.
Okay.
That and the fact, that team does have some pretty good talent on their roster.
They really do. It's for one reason or another with Miami, it's a matter of keeping them healthy.
That, and when they get to the playoffs, they're just not fit to win in cold weather environments.
Not at all.
That's what really hurts them.
Yep.
They really need to be that team one of these days that either adjusts and becomes more of a cold weather team or has the best record and can host those 2 games.
Right?
Yep. One of those scenarios for sure.
Yep.
Running through their schedule, I'm just looking at some of their bigger games. They host the Chargers at home. They host Baltimore at home.
Okay.
Obviously, they play Buffalo twice, and they'll host one of those games at home. They host Washington at home, Cincinnati at home, and Tampa Bay at home. All pretty quality opponents, and they get them all at home. Like I said, that's why I have them finishing 9-8. Tua at quarterback. Will he stay healthy?
That's the $1 million question.
Right. That's going to be
Yeah.
big. Zach Wilson came over from the Jets. He's a backup. And Ewers out of Texas, they drafted him in the 7th round. He would also be in the mix if they need an emergency quarterback, we'll say.
But it's safe to say that drop from Tua to Zach, I mean, there's a big drop there.
Yeah, he's
If
just
Tua's healthy, he's a phenomenal quarterback.
and he's got really good chemistry with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Yeah, if he's healthy, they'll put up points. The offensive line needs to do their best to protect him.
My worries, though, Eric, always when a guy starts developing concussions, it's a snowball.
It's a slippery slope.
It is. So I hope the guy stays healthy.
Right.
For his own sake.
And head coach Mike McDaniel, I wanted to do just some quick research on him because I wasn't sure, about his background.
Sure.
He's actually a Yale grad.
Okay.
So, the guy's got to be pretty sharp.
Yeah, right.
You don't graduate from Yale without being pretty sharp.
I'll give him that for sure.
28-23 is his regular season record, 0-2 in the playoffs like we talked about. When they get into cold weather, it's quite a challenge for him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what transpires this year, but I have them 9-8, and I have them actually in New England both 9-8.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on to the Patriots,
let's
so
move on.
we'll say a tie for second place there. Mike Vrabel, that guy, he's just a winner. That's how I view him. He won 3 Super Bowls with New England back in the day.
Good dude.
Yep, as a linebacker. At Tennessee in 6 seasons, he was 54-45. And, I mean, they probably didn't have the same type of talent that other teams did, so I would say he overachieved.
Yeah, you're right.
For sure. Like I said, I just think him being there, he's just got a leadership quality about him that I think players
He's
respect.
got a toughness to
Yep,
him, right?
he
That
does.
old school toughness to him.
He does.
Yep.
Drake May, second year, big kid, 6'4", 225 out of North Carolina. Last year, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, but here's what surprised me. He had 420 yards rushing,
Okay,
Brian.
I didn't realize
Yep.
that. Yeah.
And 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, a big guy that can move pretty well.
I mean, the kid's got an elite arm. He's got the arm.
Right.
He's going to make, at least he should make, a pretty big jump from his freshman year to sophomore year.
Right.
Second year in the NFL, he's gonna see these defenses a little differently. He's gonna make better reads. If he continues to improve, I mean, we all know New England, right? They historically they're going to surround you with some players, but it's almost like I almost want to compare them to the Steelers in a way. They're almost a blue collar way. Like they might not have all the stars like some other teams have, but they find a way to be in every game.
Right.
And I think they can get back to that.
I think they're headed in the right direction for sure. Drake May last year, he had 30-plus yards rushing in 6 of 12 games. So that's pretty impressive
That
for
is.
a
I
dude
did not realize
for a dude that's 6'4", 225. Moving on to running backs, Ramondre Stevenson, pretty good year at running back, and then they drafted Travion Henderson in the second round, 38th overall pick out of Ohio State.
Okay.
I know preseason doesn't mean a lot, but as far as rookies, I mean, they can start to make a name for themselves. And the first time that he touched the ball, he returned the opening kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown. His first touch ever in an NFL game. I know, preseason, but you can't do any better than that.
Nobody can take that away from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, before the season, I thought he would challenge for playing time.
Sure.
Obviously, that just enhances my
It
belief.
doesn't hurt a thing.
That could definitely happen. They brought Stefan Diggs over. He's in his 11th season. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
8 games last year with Houston before he went down with the torn ACL. But if he's healthy, I mean, the talent's still there.
He's a vet that's been around forever, but
Right.
he's a proven vet. If he's healthy, like you said.
Yep.
But the guy can still go out and catch the ball.
Exactly. He could really be a big help, big boost for them if he can stay healthy. 9-8, I have them. Like I said, tied with Miami, 9-8, and the Jets, I have 4-13.
Okay.
Little rebuild for Coach Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it's it's going to be slim pickings this year for the Jets.
First year coming over, he was the Lions defensive coordinator. So, yeah, a work in progress. I mean, quarterback play, Justin Fields has been consistently inconsistent.
Right.
That's one of my favorite sayings.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he's
He's
been.
a roller coaster.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you have 15-year veteran Tyrod Taylor backing him up.
I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Yep.
Wow.
Brees Hall out of Iowa State, little 5'11", 220-pound fire plug. He's had a pretty stellar career. Fourth year, like I said, out of Iowa State. And then Garrett Wilson, 101 receptions, 7 TDs last year. Fourth year out of Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. So he is their big go-to guy. Yep.
3 straight years of over 1,000 yards.
There's most definitely talent.
Yeah.
Talent there for
There's
sure.
some talent there. Fields is, as you said, he's up and down. He's going to need time in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
He's maybe a little more time than some other quarterbacks. That extra, just a little bit makes a difference.
Right.
If you give him time, I mean,
he can make some plays.
he can make some plays, but not enough.
Right.
Not
Like I said, until there's more consistency there, then it is what it is. I'm about as convinced that the Jets will finish in last place as I am that Buffalo will finish in first place in this division.
I like that.
I mean,
You're right.
that looks pretty cut and dry, barring something unforeseen.
Yeah, it's going to take something largely unforeseen to change that. I mean, it's crazy, but I agree with you 100% on your ranking.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would definitely have something similar to that.
Yeah.
It's not like, not like we're going against the grain with those predictions.
Not in this division.
Right. AFC North, it's going to be competitive.
Good.
Once again, last year, Baltimore 12-5, division champs. Pittsburgh 10-7, Cincinnati 9-8, and the Cleveland Browns 3-14.
Wow.
This year, Baltimore has a certain way of doing things. I just call it the Baltimore way.
Yeah.
Ball control offense, solid defense, but we talked about how they refuse to go out and try to find a big playmaker. They are a team over individual. Yeah. It does work for them. I'm not going to dispute that. I just think with the AFC being as tough as it is, one of these days they might have to take a chance on going out and finding somebody that might be more of an individual.
Shake it up
over team. Yeah.
That Harbaugh guy they have as coach, he might be a little stubborn.
Right?
Yeah, I think that kind of runs in the family, but
sure.
But no, I mean, they're gonna run first, pass second offense, right? I mean,
but what a two-headed monster last year. Quarterback Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league, and in the D train, Derrick Henry, 16 touchdowns, huge season. I mean, they were just they were feeding the beast, so to speak. And then Mark Andrews, veteran tight end, really came on as the season went on. Ended up with 11 touchdown receptions. Solid tight end. It's just he's getting older, but still had a big year. So
you can't ask much more out of your tight end though. But maybe again, here's another example. The Ravens use their tight end a little more than some teams.
Yeah, they like to use multiple ones.
Yeah.
That's one of their traits for sure.
Yep.
Receivers, they brought in Hopkins in his 13th season. Rashard Bateman had 9 touchdowns for him last year, and then Zay Flowers being one of their big playmakers as well. And a guy to keep an eye on, kind of a dark horse here, Keaton Mitchell, running back, kind of a scat back, 5'8", 190 out of East Carolina. I believe he got hurt last year, but yeah, he could be a nice change of pace to the big dude, Derrick Henry, the D train.
Look for him to maybe catch some little short balls out of the backfield. You know, those guys usually they like to utilize guys like that catch a quick little ball and let them get 6 or 8 yards.
Yep, they have Justice Hill back there at running back as well, but Mitchell's a real change of pace type of back, so I'd say watch out for him. He could have a surprising season. Defense, I mean, they picked up Jair Alexander, but, I mean, they're already good, so that's only going to make them a little bit better. 10-7 is what I have them, and then Cincinnati, I happen to have them going 10-7, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of offensive firepower. The big question mark with them, I believe it's still ongoing, is Trey Hendrickson.
Okay.
He had, I believe, 17, 18 sacks last year, right in there. That's going to be tough for replace. Little contract dispute going on right now. If he ends up
They better
signing,
figure that out.
that's
right?
going to be, that's going to be huge. Like
Yeah.
I said, he had a huge year last year. Their offense is borderline unstoppable.
They're loaded.
When they're on,
Yeah.
nobody's stopping
No.
them.
No, they're loaded.
A three-headed monster of Joe Burrow. He just had a huge year last year. And then Jamar Chase, I'll throw these stats out again. 127 receptions, just over 1,700 yards, and 17 TDs.
Love to hear that. That's crazy.
And running back Chase Brown, watch out for him. I predict a breakout season for him. He was just on the cusp of that last year in a part-time role. He had 990 yards and 11 touchdowns. So if he gets more carries this year, he's going to put together a huge season. So, I think that is a three-headed monster of Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown. That's what I'm calling it. And T. Higgins is a pretty damn good second receiver.
Solid,
Yep.
Cam Taylor-Britt on defense. I mean,
The former Husker.
he kind of stepped up last year. I look for him to maybe assume a little even bigger role on defense this year.
Right.
The Bengals, they're a tricky team. They could be 12-5.
Yeah.
They could be 9-8.
Yep.
I mean, they could swing either way there.
This division, they're going to kind of beat the crap out of each other.
They are.
Yep.
I think they're going to finish behind Baltimore overall in the division.
Okay.
That's where I have them.
Right. Yeah. Pittsburgh, I mean, man, what an interesting story. The just the consistency of the franchise, like we talked about. Mike Tomlin, all he has had is 18 non-losing seasons.
That's unreal.
It's unbelievable in this day and age.
How does that even happen?
183 wins, 107 losses, and 2 ties is his overall record. He's in, let's see, he has that 1 Super Bowl win. But that record is amazing.
Another team that may not do anything overly flashy to amaze you, but I'll use the word they're just consistent.
Right.
They just go out and they just beat you down.
Right. 1-1 in Super Bowls. They had the win over Arizona and then lost to Green Bay. Yep. So 1-1 in Super Bowls, but a great record. And like I said, 18 non-losing seasons, consecutive non-losing seasons. That's all you need to know right there. But where it gets very interesting is this franchise that's so consistent is bringing in a wild card at quarterback.
A wild card. A wild card, yeah. Let's leave it at that.
But, I mean, a person, even if they think Aaron Rodgers might be a little dramatic at times, you got to respect the fact the guy's still playing. He's in his 21st season, 41 years old.
Unbelievable.
So there has to be a little bit of love for the game. It's not all money.
No, he's got money.
He's got money.
He doesn't.
So
need
a guy's got to give him. Got to give him credit for that.
He's not playing for the money at this point.
Right, but no, it's going to be a fun story to watch. Yeah. You don't have to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan to want to watch this and see how it unfolds for sure.
Yeah.
What I have, Brian, when I broke it all down, is I have them finishing 9-8.
Okay.
So that would be another non-losing season for Mike Tomlin.
I think right in that neighborhood's about right.
Yep. Their big acquisition beyond Rodgers on the offensive side was DK Metcalf.
Okay.
Big dude. Played for Seattle.
Sure.
Coming over to Pittsburgh. We'll see how they kind of mesh. If they have good chemistry as the year goes on, we'll say. Running backs, Jalen Warren. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. But he's been having trouble picking up blitz pickups, I read, and obviously you have to do that.
In the NFL, you better be able to
especially when you're playing alongside a quarterback that's 41 years old.
Yeah, you won't be on the field long if you
miss those blocks. Goes just beyond running the football. You got to be able to pass protect.
Absolutely.
And they said Kenneth Gainwell has actually been doing a very good job at that as a backup running back. Okay. So I think if Caleb but if Caleb Johnson can improve upon that, I think he will earn some playing time for sure.
Yep.
So there's the 3 running backs we talked about. Metcalf is their big target on offense, and then defense, T.J. Watt. They're big dog, and they brought in Jalen Ramsey, big acquisition.
Yep.
And defensive end, Cam Hayward's pretty solid as well. So there's their big three on defense. Like I said, I got them finishing 9-8. And I got the Brownies, Cleveland Browns, bringing up the rear at 4-13.
Let's see here. A year ago, the Brownies were 3-14. So
yep, that'd be a one-game improvement.
I think that's fair. I think again, as much as you think the top of this division is loaded, the bottom is just as far down.
Right. Your boy Shedeur Sanders did look good in that preseason game the other day.
Yeah, when he's playing against the maybe second, third, fourth string, but still, he went out and did his job.
He did.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I did see quote unquote depth chart out again today. He's still fourth on the depth chart.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
But and they're talking about Deshaun Watson coming back from this Achilles injury. I mean,
what a 3-ring circus at quarterback, huh? You got the veteran Joe Flacco, 40 years old. You just mentioned Watson, and then you throw in Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett as well.
Right? I mean,
has there ever been a quarterback competition quite like this?
And we know Watson signed this ludicrous contract when he came to Cleveland.
Yeah, they're not getting out from under that.
No, they're not gonna. Trust me, they're not gonna find anybody to take that contract on.
Right.
So if he's deemed healthy, granted, we know he's not going to start this season, but by the midpoint of the season, Watson could assume that starting role. Right. And there's your circus. I have no idea.
Cleveland, just expect the unexpected and go from there, I would say.
Yeah.
Now, defensive-wise, Myles Garrett, a stud, and we talked about how they drafted Mason Graham out of Michigan, number 5 overall pick defensive lineman. So their defense, it's no joke.
No.
They could put up a little resistance when it comes to certain matchups,
Sure.
we'll say.
How much Garrett, though? I mean, we know he just got this huge contract extension because he wanted out. So is his heart even there? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
if they start the year 1-5, 0-6, what are we going to see?
That's something we're going to find out pretty quick, probably.
Yeah.
Right. I know. I jotted down Malik Collins out of Nebraska as their nose tackle.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the attention they'll give to Myles Garrett and Mason Graham might give Malik Collins his career year.
There you go.
As far as people watching some Huskers, there you go. Watch out for Malik Collins.
I'd like to see that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they may not devote the attention to him that they will on some of his teammates, we'll say.
No, I'd like to see him, make a little name for himself this year.
Right. Anyway, to recap, I have Baltimore winning the tiebreaker over Cincinnati. I have them both going 10-7. Baltimore in first place, Cincinnati at 10-7 in second. Pittsburgh in third place, Browns in last, and then in the AFC East, we talked about the Bills winning it. Miami, I have winning a tiebreaker over New England for second, and the Jets finishing fourth in that division, Brian.
As I said, I agreed with you for the most part in that AFC East. The North, we're going to differ a little bit. I do have Baltimore winning that division by a game over Cincinnati.
Okay.
I think they both get in the playoffs.
Sure.
However, I do think this is the year Tomlin falls under 500.
Okay.
I don't have much faith in Aaron Rodgers.
It's probably a good call just based on law of averages.
Yeah.
Law of averages says 18 non-losing seasons in a row. He might be him, and they might be due for one.
So I do see them finishing maybe just a game or two.
Right.
It's going to be close.
Sure. Maybe 8-9 as opposed to 9-8 or something.
But for sure, Cleveland's looking at anywhere between 3 and 5 wins.
Right.
That's not going to change.
Sure.
So, yeah. Otherwise, I think we're pretty in sync on those two divisions right now.
Mm-hmm. And we'll break down the remaining 2 AFC divisions next podcast, and I'll have my seeds at that point.
There you go.
We'll go from there.
It'll start to get interesting.
Damn right.
Okay, Eric, the transition from the NFL to college ball the Huskers season inches ever closer every day that goes by.
I'm ready. I'm ready to get to that point where we have two different sports going again.
Sure.
I love that when baseball's, coming down to that last month and football's, firing up.
Let's see. We are, Today's the 12th. We're 16 days away.
Yep.
16 days away from the invasion of Arrowhead Stadium by Husker fans. I did see today, Eric, that Troy Dannon, the Husker athletic director, said roughly so far 66,000 tickets have been sold for this game against Cincinnati. 6,000 of those tickets have been sold in the Cincinnati area. So you're talking a 10-1 edge right now.
That was honestly going to be, I was going to guess right in there. Yeah, I figured it was that lopsided.
I mean, I did go to, what was it, the 1996 Big 12 championship in St. Louis when Nebraska lost to Texas.
Do we have to relive that one?
And that was like a 10-1 edge by Husker fans.
Right.
I just want to throw that out because
Right.
I was there. But
Sure.
Yeah, big edge by Husker fans right now. And not unexpected.
No.
Right?
Heck no.
I mean, on paper, this is a home game for Cincinnati, but the crowd will tell you otherwise. Special teams coach Mike Eckler today came out and said, quote, Nebraska is the most disciplined special teams, or the most disciplined team in America.
Okay.
Sorry, he's the special teams coach, but he said all players are exactly where they are supposed to be during practices.
Exactly what you want to hear.
Right? I mean, there's no guys questioning, am I supposed to be with this group? They are where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. That, he credited the coach. I mean, Eckler just came back to Nebraska in February after spending the last few years in Tennessee, I believe. And he really credited the coaching staff for what he walked into here. He said it's just, he'd put him against anybody in the country right now.
Good deal.
Speaking of special teams, this sports writer from the Omaha World Herald that you may have heard of, Tom Chattel,
Oh, yeah.
he says today that he has great expectations for our special teams. We know it's been years. Our special teams have been down. Whether it's we haven't blocked punts, we haven't made field goals, we haven't punted the ball well, our return game has been non-existent.
I agree.
And we've given up some returns. So really, anything that Eckler can do will be a positive here. But Chattel refers to Eckler as a special teams guru. He said that the pressure that this special teams is under right now is a good thing. So we're going to see. We brought in a freshman punter from Australia, Archie Wilson. This kid has never played football a game in his life. His first American football game, which is football, will be played August 28th against Cincinnati. Unreal. This kid,
Throwing him right into the fire, so to speak.
but they say this kid can roll right, kick with his right foot, roll left, kick with his left foot. They said he can kick a banana ball, which I've never heard of. They said it basically just almost like a boomerang in the air. It just the angle he kicks it at, it will change as it goes down the field.
Talented dude.
So he's gonna provide something different that these punt returners probably have never seen.
Right?
I'm glad he's on our side. Ja'Cory Barney, he currently is the top returner for Nebraska, and he has come out in the last week or two and has said he wants to be the top punt returner in the country. I mean, this kid's brash. Mm-hmm. We haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. He had a huge freshman year last year. I only look for him to improve. And if he says he's going to be the top punt returner in the country, who am I to question that?
Right.
You know?
I love the confidence. For sure.
A couple single-digit jerseys were given out yesterday, Eric. We know Matt Rule has a custom of giving these single-digit jerseys to athletes based on the leadership they provide.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're offense, defense, what your position is. And so he gave 2 out yesterday. One went to wide receiver Dane Key. He's going to be number 6. And one went to Riley Van Poppel on the defensive line.
Okay.
He's going to be number 5. I have this here. I want to get your opinion. Been a lot of hype out there this year on this wide receiver that came from Kentucky. I think he ended up with 707 yards receiving last year for the Wildcats, transferred into Nebraska. What's his ceiling? What do you think coming into this offense with Dylan Raiola, with the improved offensive line that we have? Are we looking at a kid that can catch 1,000 yards?
I think that's definitely something that he should strive for.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And this offense that, yes, isn't afraid to throw it around in this day and age when necessary. Yeah, I think that's a realistic number, I would say.
I wanted to get your opinion on that because I agree with you. I think he's going to probably be the target this year.
Right.
And we have a lot, don't get me wrong. And it'll get spread out. But I just think that the big play potential's there. And when a quarterback links up with a receiver and he feels comfortable with this guy, he's going to look his way.
Sure. At least shoot for that number.
Sure. One last thing. The AP poll was released this week, Eric. The Big Ten has 3 teams in the top 10, 6 in the top 20, just like they did in the coaches poll that was released, I think, last week. Nebraska, again, receiving votes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a bad position to be in. We are not a top 25 team based off of last season.
Sure.
By the end of this season, I fully expect us to be ranked. But you enter the season somewhere between 30th and 35th. Sky's the limit. I mean, I think that's a good position to be in.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, you don't want to be not in the mix, not being talked about.
Sure. I mean, they're on the outside looking in as far as cracking that top 25.
But if they start the season the way we all think they should, I think in no time they'll be in that top 25, and hopefully they get there and stay there for a while. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. All right. As far as the Royals go, Brian, nice win last night over Washington, but I want to start with that road trip.
Sure.
The Royals finished 4-5 on that 3-city trip to Toronto, where they won 2 out of 3, lose 2 out of 3 to a very good Boston team. And then the series at Minnesota was kind of the tricky one. Sure. Because, before that road trip started, a lot of people probably would have settled for 4-5, but once the Twins dealt 40% of their major league roster, then you're hoping you can get 2 out of 3.
Absolutely.
And finish 5-4 on that trip, as opposed to that 4-5. Yeah. And boy, did they have an opportunity to do just that on Sunday, Brian. They did. They did what they tend to do at times. They literally gave that game away. There was two big mistakes. One was by a guy he's been really damn good this year, but Maikel Garcia got picked off second base. You have to be more aware in those situations. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I've been around baseball my whole life. I've played it, I've coached it, I've watched it. Second base to me is so hard to get picked off from. I mean, you really got to just be not paying attention.
Right. He had just stolen second base. and there was only so much to be gained from advancing to third in that situation.
Right.
It was just careless.
I mean, for a guy like him, a base hit scores you.
Right.
So, hang a half a step closer to the bag and don't worry about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was a careless mistake. That's as nice as I can put it.
We've seen it all year,
Right.
though. We've seen it all year.
But the bigger one, Brian, was in the 8th inning when the Royals had a 1-run lead. A ball was hit pretty good to left field, and John Rave made the mistake of gambling, thinking that he could catch that ball. But in that situation, the situation was there was one out, there was nobody on base, and you had Urseg in the game as your setup guy, trying to get it to Estevez. And John Rave took a horrible gamble, got caught in between. The ball goes past him. They play it. He plays that into a triple. Urseg gets the next out, but then the Twins get that big 2-out hit. Sure. But you brought it upon yourself.
Always know your situation.
Right.
Always, you play it safe. You hold the guy to a single.
Those are going to come back to haunt you.
They do.
When you make those mistakes, it's just hard to work your way around them.
At any level, that mistake's going to haunt you, but especially in the majors.
Right. It goes to extra innings, but the Royals end up losing 5-3, and those two critical errors just were huge.
Can't have it.
Huge determining factor in
Can't
that
have
outcome of that game.
Yep.
So instead of finishing 5-4, they finished 4-5, and which made last night's game, that much bigger. Here's what we got. We got Washington coming for 3, the White Sox. We know what needs to be done. If the Royals play a clean brand of baseball where they're minimizing their mistakes, there's no reason, that they can't win. We'll say 5-6 realistically.
And realistically, at this point of the season, they need to win. I mean, if they want to stay in the hunt,
right,
they need to win 5-6 here.
We know what they need to do. Like I said, it's a matter of doing those little things better.
Yep.
We've talked about this all year long. You got to clean those things up.
Yeah.
Because the pitching has been so good, and there is enough guys on offense when they're running hot. Just don't beat yourself. If you just don't beat yourself, you're going to beat teams like Washington and the White Sox.
They've really squandered some well-pitched games this year.
Right.
I mean, that's the nicest way I can put it.
Sure.
They could easily be plus 5 or 6 wins from where they're at right now, just in games that they've squandered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They won last night 7-4. Salvador Perez hit a 2-run home run. Brian, he's creeping ever so close to that 300 career home run mark. Last night was 294.
He'd been quiet for a while. We
Right.
need to see him get hot again.
But man, he was running real hot for a while.
Yeah.
So you knew there was going to be a little regression coming, because that's just baseball, as you know.
But realistically, to say that he could get to 300 by the end of the year is not a crazy statement.
Oh, heck no.
He's got time, so let's see what happens here.
Right. He had the 2-run home run to tie it up, and then Kyle Isbell, he's been running real hot since the All-Star break. I believe he's hitting around 330. He had a 2-run homer to put him ahead. Those were 2 big ones for sure. Washington also hit 2 2-run home runs, so those kind of offset one another, and the Royals scored an additional 3 runs. Like I said, 7-4 victory. They moved to 59-60 with a chance to get back to 500 with Michael Wacha on the mound, and that guy has just been freaking solid all year long. We just need Wacha to be Wacha tonight. Keep hitting like they did last night, and I like their chances to get back to 500 and see how far we can ride this positivity.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, over the next few days, they could gain some ground here. I mean, obviously, you need the teams in front of you to lose, but you can only control what you can control.
Right.
And wins are something they can control. Right. So they've got to get these wins against the teams they're expected to win against.
Win tonight and ride that positive wave of momentum as long as you can. 10-game homestand. I would just give you those 6 against, teams that have poor records, and then they face a Rangers team that's right around 500.
Yeah.
Those next 4. So a big 10-game homestand
Yeah.
coming up that started off well last night.
They're 4 games out of the wild card. This is a great opportunity to maybe cut that in half over these next few games, over the next 6 to 8 games. If they get some losses in front of them, they could chip away at this. Unfortunately, I think we're on the outside looking in right now.
No, they know this is their opportunity.
Sure.
And fans know this is their opportunity. They just got to go out and do it. Everybody knows what it is. It's just a matter of going out and getting it done.
Yep. We'll see what happens, right? I mean,
yep. It's all like we talked about. It's August 12th, and they have a chance to get to 500 tonight. So let's get that done, and like I said, carry that momentum forward.
Some other news I saw come out today, Eric. Jack Caglione expected to start a rehab assignment next week in Omaha. Maybe getting him back in Omaha, get him in the groove a little bit.
Right.
Maybe when he gets back to Kansas City, maybe he'll provide a little pop in the offense.
That'd be great.
We'll see what happens, right?
Yastrzemski's been doing a really good job for him.
Well.
Adam Frazier's done a great job. They kind of shifted their lineup, moved India down in the order, and he was hitting a little better there for a couple games. So I thought that was a necessary change at this point. Shake things up, see if that helps.
You can't go wrong right now.
Right.
You're, again, like I said, you're on the outside looking in. You need to find that rotation that works best. Who cares if you ruffle some feathers with some guys?
Mm-hmm.
You drop them from the 1 spot to the 6 or 7 spot. Who cares?
Exactly.
Wins are more important than individuals.
Yep.
Got anything else for this week?
I believe we've covered all we plan on covering this evening.
Okay. I feel like we covered a lot.
It seems that way.
It does. And it's going to stay that way for a while. We're going to be busy, Eric. I want to thank everyone. Thank you for listening. I want to see somebody this week on the YouTube page to leave a comment. You leave a comment, we're going to give you a shout out on the podcast next week.
A shout out, and we're thinking about having a little competition.
Yes, we are.
For NFL predictions, we'll say. We're looking for a fun type of trophy to give out.
Yep.
In the form of the GOAT trophy.
I love it. I love it.
Greatest of all time trophy.
Right?
Yep.
It's pretty sweet, let me tell you.
Something along those lines, and then we'll say, whoever wins, if they would happen to be in the listening area or would be back here for whatever reason, maybe give them the option to come in, join us, and tell us how it's done.
Right? We'll bring you in for
How about that?
Absolutely. I love that idea.
Yep.
Be sharpening your pencils. Be thinking about your NFL picks. We'll dig a little deeper into that here in the next week or two.
Yep.
We'll give you some more details, but
we'll
throw that out at you a little bit.
We'll conclude with ours so you guys can go opposite of us and
probably be right.
Yep. And come up with something. Correct. We'll say opposite of us.
Okay.
Or you can go along with us, but that wouldn't be nearly as fun.
I wouldn't go along with me. Trust me. Hey, thanks for listening, and we'll be back here next week.
Yes.